Hello Internet, old guy in shed. I'm so sorry, this has been quite a while since I've done one of these episodes. A lot has been going on, notwithstanding I wasn't even in the country this time last week. I went for a ride to La Rochelle with a friend of mine, his good lady and my good lady, and a very grand time we had. Prior to that, I've been involved in all sorts of trials and tribulations, notwithstanding the Falcone, like a Swiss watch. As a pal of mine who did this conversion to the rockers to help with the oil flow, I thought, wow, what a difference. Beautifully quiet, smooth as you like. I did a few hundred mile on it, and all of a sudden the ticking came back. So I've got this problem back again, so now I have to take that apart. The little 750 Breva, as ever, has been a little Trojan. The MV Augusta is finished. I am now waiting for the paperwork to come back from the DVLA. Lord help me with that. The V85 behind me is the bike I took to La Rochelle. Didn't miss a beat. It has developed a little tiny oil leak. Nothing to worry about, but it's just thinks it's that's a bit irritating. But there we go. The Marini 3.5 still hasn't been touched. I really have. As soon as I get this Falcone settled, it's going on the ramp. The Passo, the Ducati Passo, I love it as a bike. I love the noise it makes and the way it steers, but I'm really not getting the use out of it. I keep turning to other bikes that are easy. It's not that it's difficult, but it is a harder bike to just use. So it's not my first go-to bike. So I don't know what to do about the Passo. I really don't know what to do about the Passo. I like the Ducati so much. It may be a plan to get more of a touring type Ducati. Don't know, more sit up and ordinary, if you like, due to my oncoming age. But that's all the bike stuff, really. I have been getting, what's the word I'm trying to find? I've been getting very, not depressed is the wrong word, but concerned, generally concerned with some of the weirdness of the world at the moment. In America there's this Biden-Trump thing going on, which to me is very strange. It's just very odd. And some of the stuff that's coming out about Biden is not good. And I don't know where the world, because I am a believer, because many years ago I was once given an expression, and it does ring true, that if America sneezes, we catch the cold. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. I really do believe that. But then we've got our own problems with the Boris Johnson situation. Well, the lack of Boris Johnson now. He's gone. And he has also been incredibly quiet. He's been... It's suspicious just how easily he's rolled over, I suppose. Although it may be because I'm used to listening to the Trump thing where they don't roll over readily. And listening to the Sunak and the girl, whatever her name is, Truss, the Truss Sunak argument. And I mean, and a chap once said to me, and again it's another old saying, that it doesn't matter who we vote for, the government get in, and that's kind of true. But I was listening. I'm not, by and large, I'm not a conspiratorial type chap. I tend to be very mechanical in my thinking. You know, if it's mechanical, it does this, and you fix it like that. So, looking at what we're dealing with now, an interesting conspiracy, and I'm convinced it was a conspiracy, but 2019 and 2020, pre-2018, 19, the world was in uproar, and there was, across the world, it was global, there was more dissent and disruption than any ever before, according to this chap I was listening to. And so the global pandemic came along, and all the governments around the world locked everybody down. And all of a sudden, all these problems and what have you calmed down a bit. And it was because of lockdown that it calmed down. So do we believe it? I don't know. I personally am not convinced. I personally think that I've never, in all my years, and I do have a lot of years behind me, have I seen such disparities. I mean, we always had Labour and Conservative, and Tory and Socialist. But the divide is now colossal. I've never known it so wide. But the coming together of these opposing factions, if you want to call them that, they call them political parties. I prefer to call them factions. They came together in the joint plan to suppress and subdue the population of the UK, and it happened everywhere. It happened across Europe, and it happened everywhere across the world. That everybody got locked down, and I keep seeing and hearing various pundits saying things like the actual numbers of deaths hasn't really moved a great lot, and I don't know whether that's true or not, but I do think, and I honestly believe, that my generation, which is known as the boomer generation, had the best generation in history. My parents had gone through a war, and I didn't want to do that. And since then we've had this decline in our society where we've gone from having communities to groups. And so this is my thinking. I could very well be wrong, because as I say, at the end of the day I am basically just a mechanic in a shed with his toys. Rephrase it, I'm an old retired mechanic with my own toys here, and I feel very at home in here because the engines and the feel of the machinery, and the fact that men made these machines, and I can appreciate their skill, effort, design, and the fact that they're going to live much longer than most of us, which is ace. I mean, that's absolutely wonderful. But it just makes you think, or it makes me think, that the world isn't in the best place anymore. And I read last night that the motoring organisation, the RAC, have actually predicted that pounds per mile it will cost more to recharge your electric car than to fill it with either petrol or diesel. So much for that as a good idea. We've got problems. We've got societal problems. We've got monetary problems. And it's all quite concerning. This isn't my usual jovial banter. Just recently, I've had very little to fear. I'm not talking about me personally, although age brings problems. I'm talking about the sort of big picture. We've got very little to be cheerful about. The most cheerful thing I can think of is a Motor Guzzi Falcone that doesn't have a tick in it. That's me. And I am sure I'm going to solve that too, with my good pal, who's well versed in the Falcone, is going to come over and help me on Wednesday, and we're going to go through it again. I am sure between the two of us we will solve its odd noise. And if we don't, it won't matter, because I'm still going to ride the bloody thing whilst I still can in the summer. Talking of summer, when we went off to La Rochelle, got near the 30s, low 30s, bloody warm, very, very pleasant. But my pal I went with had these ankle boots, these new motorbike ankle boots, and I've got traditional leather, sort of calf length or whatever, sort of traditional motorbike boots. And I'm clomping about in these things in this heat, and he's got these like ankle, and I think, Jesus, you could have a pair of them. So I went out today and I bought a pair for myself and my good lady, because her white trousers fell apart, because we've actually had them for years. So we bought a new gear, and I've got the shoes as well. And what a difference! What a difference! They're lightweight. You can walk in them. They're just like a comfy shoe, and they're all Gore-Tex, so they're waterproof. They're really good stuff. And when I see that sort of technology and how we're using it, I think mankind is in with a shout. But we've got to stop arguing. Sorry about this, folks. No, I'm not. I have a voice, and I think I should use it. But I do think we are somehow being led down some garden path. And I don't know whether bikers, motorcyclists, enthusiasts can use our platform, for want of a better word, I hate the word because it does invoke the view of the internet, but the whole business of dealing with motorbikes and the fact that they bring you closer to the reality that they're dangerous, and that it can get to the point where you go, you know what, the politicians can sort of what they like, but none of them have got that spark of life. They all seem to have this ambition for power and not for life. I've had a good life. I've enjoyed myself. I really have, and still enjoy myself. And for me, it's all come from things mechanical, from racing through to pottering around on old bikes and going across, Europe on a modern bike. It's a little, not an adrenaline rush, but anymore. It was when I was racing. But the whole business of enjoying things mechanical, as I say, from people who made these things, from the people who designed them, gives me immense pleasure, and I hope it does for the guys who are watching this, because we are an extraordinary bunch of people who are very different to everybody else, because motorcycling is it's a tiny portion of the population, Very small population. And if you go to anywhere, it doesn't matter where you go, you're in a motorway service station or a greasy spoon or a pub, anywhere you bloody like, even if you pull up in a supermarket car park and there's another biker, you pull up and it's always, all right, nice bike, whatever. We always acknowledge one another. And I think, I mean, we can go have big discussions as to which is the best bike or worst bike, or is it Japanese, is it German, is it Italian, whatever. And we have these big debates. But ultimately we're all bikers. And I think that's what I'd like to see in our lives. I mean, these guys are Tory politicians or a Labour politician. Can't they just be there to serve the people who voted for them? Because they don't serve the people who voted for them, they serve the party. And they all do it. I'm not taking sides on this. They all do this. And I just feel that if my MP in my area looked after me, I would be a happier chap. Or looked after his area, and the people who voted him into that position send him off to Westminster, and that's the last bloody hear of them, really. They come and do their surgeries, as they call them, and they listen and they make all the right noises and then fucking ignore you. I'm very, very cynical about all politicians of any colour. I don't think any of them are any good in that regard, because once they've got their position, they forget who put them there, and all they're interested in is the party, and that annoys me a little bit. Excuse me. It is that time of day. I have my glass of red. Cheers, folks. On this subject, you can go into a Lidl in France, get a bottle of red for €1.90. I'm not saying you can drink it, but you can get it for €1.90, which is very telling as to what we pay for our cheapest bottle of wine. It's still more than €1.90. But having said that, it's a case of we are out of Europe now, and we've got to make our own way and pay our own way. That's me. I've had a good moan, haven't I? This is the first time I've ever done this, and used my YouTube channel to talk about anything other than the mechanics of motorbikes. I mean, we've gone into the bikes a little bit, but this is the first time I've had a contemplation of our society. You probably hate this. I'll probably get more dislikes than I've ever had from this video. But I don't really care. I needed to get it off my chest. I needed people to understand that I'm non-political. Nobody's non-political. Being non-political is in itself political. I'm non-partisan. No, I'm not. I mean, that's wrong, isn't it? I don't know. Okay, guys, you figure it out how you think I am. I'm past caring. The end of this has come, this episode. I promise faithfully not to do this again, but I just thought I'm going to get this off my chest, because I met people in France, and we hear all this Brexit and Europe and, you know, ooh, and I met lovely people, French people, who at the end of the day are the same as us. Everybody's just trying to make their way in this world. So this is Old Guy in Shed asking you very kindly to like or subscribe or both. Ring the little notification bell, and I'll talk to you all again very soon. Old Guy in the Shed saying bye, internet.